Right. One of the biggest stories to consume the Irish sports media and Irish social media over the last while has been the co-opting of Ronaldinho from the green and gold of Brazil to the green and gold of Kerry. Paul Walsh, good morning to you. How are you?
Hi lads, thanks for having me.
You've gone viral.
I have, yeah. I didn't even know I was gone viral when I was over there. It was when I came back I kind of realised.
So we're just going to play some B-roll here. This is not a lookalike, as I saw somebody suggesting that this was some kind of weird trick that you were playing on us, or that the entire Kerry Mafia were playing on us. That's the actual Ronaldinho, yeah?
That is, yeah. That's himself.
So go on, what happened?
I suppose it's a long story. He was always my childhood hero growing up, I suppose, and it wasn't because he was like the best player in the world or what he won or what he scored or anything like that. It was just kind of the way he did it. He always had a smile on his face, and you could see he was having the absolute time of his life when he was on the field. And he kind of transmitted that joy to everybody that watched him. And you could see it just playing it here, just watching him. He reminded us that sport is there to be enjoyed. And when other people were playing to win or playing to score goals or get assists, he was just kind of playing for fun. And I don't think there ever was a player like him, and I don't think there ever will be a player like him again. So basically, naturally, I would have followed him on all social media and stuff for as long as I can remember. And his brother, who was his agent, Assis, for some reason there about a year, maybe probably more than a year ago, he made a new Instagram account. And I just noticed it on the day that he made it. I noticed it. I was like, geez, there's a kind of an opportunity to get in contact here, because he only has a few hundred followers. So I sent him a follow request anyway, and he accepted it. And I can't really remember what the first few messages were, because...
You slid into his DMs, essentially.
I did, yeah, I did. I can't really remember what the first few messages were, because I was just kind of typing out my messages and throwing it into Google Translate. So I'd have to kind of go back and translate the whole thing in reverse again. But yeah, basically, I didn't kind of just explain to him that, you know, he's my childhood hero, he's my idol. You know, is there, because he's always touring the globe as an ambassador for football and stuff. So is there any chance I could meet him somewhere for a photo anytime? And a few kind of time passed in after that message, and I was like, sure, that's it. No, he's not going to reply. And I hadn't really expected anything anyway, because I just said, you know, I might as well chance it since I'm one of the first few followers here, because that page has since blown up. So it was just lucky timing, really, because I would have never been able to get in contact with him. If it was now, for instance, there wouldn't have been any hope of him even seeing the message. So some time passed anyway, and one morning I just woke up and I saw on my phone, it was a very short message from Assis. He just said, no problem. And that was kind of it then. That was kind of it, how it came to happen.
And are you at that point like, go on Assis, tell me how this is going to happen?
Or are you just booking a flight?
No. So from there then, it was very hard to not organise something, really, because, you know, he's so busy. There was no talk of going to Rio or anything at this stage. So I was kind of, from then I started kind of chatting to him about Gaelic football. I started showing him a few videos, and he kind of got interested in that then, I'd say. And they'd never heard of the sport before. So it was nice to show him that. And yeah, it was about, I'd say, a year, probably more than a year, of kind of back and forth before anything was... I still wasn't expecting to go to Rio to his house to meet him, like, or anything. But then one day, last week, I got a message from Assis. He said, Ronaldo, I'll call him Ronaldo, Ronaldo's his name. Ronaldo's in Miami, and he's going back to Rio from holidays now. He's going back to his house. That I could organise something for you to meet him there if you wanted to. And I genuinely could not believe it. Like, I thought I didn't believe it at all.
You thought you were getting catfished at that stage?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So I didn't really tell anybody at this stage. I just kind of booked a flight, and I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell my friends. I didn't tell my parents I was going to
Why not?
because first of all, my parents would probably be getting worried, think I was getting kidnapped or something, scammed by some lad on Instagram. And, second of all, I just didn't want to tell my friends in case it didn't happen. Oh yeah, well, nobody would believe me in the first place anyway. So sure, I was even over there, and I texted some of my friends saying that, look, I'm in Ronaldinho's house, and everyone just started laughing. So
what else can you do? It's like, I mean, it's definitely the only appropriate response is to laugh, because it's brilliant. So just go back a little bit. You booked the flights, and you presumably are a little bit anxious about whether or not this is actually going to happen yourself. So, heading out there, worst case scenario, you're getting a short break in Rio. How long were you heading out to Rio for?
I hadn't booked the return flight.
Right, okay. All right.
I booked the return flight over there.
Right.
So. Just in case something might happen or something. So, I went over, and I was kind of texting him on the phone. I had a bit of a scare then over because, he sent me the address of the house and stuff. So, and he just said the only conditions were just to be alone. So I went up to the security gate anyway. There's like it's in Barra de Tijuca in South Rio. It's kind of a fairly posh area. But he lives in kind of, I suppose, a complex of, rich people's houses. And there's a security gate at the start. And I had to give him my passport and stuff because I'd already given my passport to Assis. So I just had to show that I was me. But they rang the house then, and they were like, no one's after telling us you were coming, and Ronaldo's asleep. And I was like, oh my God, I'm after coming all the way from Ireland. I'm not even going to get into the house now. Because, Ronaldo, he was asleep. I don't know why, but he was asleep. So I had to wait outside the gate then for a few hours, like just with my bag sitting on the curb and wondering, am I just going to have to go home here again now? Because nobody was coming out to me. I kept asking, showing the message from Assis, but couldn't get in. But eventually, anyway, somebody got onto the housekeeper somehow, and the security guard came out for me and drove me into the house. And I just had to wait there then until he was ready. I was with his friends for a few hours, having a few beers by the pool. It was absolute madness.
And did any of them speak English? Do you speak Portuguese?
No. So one of them spoke English. One of his friends spoke very good English, and a few of them were kind of not great, and then a few of them didn't. He himself had a small bit of English. He was able to hold a conversation anyway, so I could talk to him away.
Right.
At what point then do you start chatting about Gaelic games then with Ronaldinho, and at what stage does he become curious of that?
In the messages to Assis, or when I was at the house?
When you're at the house.
Well, it was kind of organised already that I'd give him the jersey. Right. I told Assis that I'd bring him over a Gaelic football jersey. So our first thing, I couldn't believe how nice he was. First thing he did, he came down the stairs, and we were there with his friends, and he came down the stairs. He came over and he gave me a hug, and I told him I was going to give him a jersey, so I presented him the jersey then. We took a few photos. Then we sat around for a while, had a few beers, and after a while then played a bit of football and stuff, and stayed there for. It was the early hours in the morning, and when I left, I was there for the night. So absolute dream come true. Couldn't believe it.
And as a matter of interest, when you're making contact and when you're showing him videos, is it videos of Maurice Fitz scoring the sideline to level it in Thurles? Is it some of the highlight reels that we've seen from David Clifford? Is it you playing for Kerry?
It was. I tried to find the most spectacular videos I could find, really, to showcase the game. So it was just kind of clips from YouTube and stuff. I sent him a few clips myself playing to verify that it was me. And that's how it came to happen.
Did he have any comment on the game, or was there any discussion about it?
They were actually amazed by it, but I don't know if they were just being nice, because he was genuinely the nicest person you could ever meet. But yeah, he was none of them had ever even heard of it, which I think they hadn't heard of hurling either, I thought it was amazing. Like, it's terrible that most of the globe doesn't even know our sports, and we should probably be doing more to publicise them a bit more.
So you didn't get to go to a club in Rio with. Would have been fairly interesting to see what the dynamic is like around Ronaldinho, Ronaldo in the club in Brazil. But his gaff sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I didn't get to see all of it, no, but from what I did see, he's everything he ever wants in the house. He would never have to leave the house again if he didn't want to. He just everything done for him. All his friends are there living with him. He's just having the time of his life.
Are you going to go back? Are you buddies now? Now that he knows you're not a catfish.
Yeah. I was talking to him about coming over to see get a football game, but I don't know if that'll ever happen. We'll have to see.
It's not like, I mean, there's going to be a big enough battle for All Ireland tickets this year without Ronaldinho getting into the mix.
Yeah.
His entourage would be the problem. He'd be grand. You could definitely spare one for him.
Yeah, he wouldn't come alone, I presume.
That's like, I mean, so Usain Bolt, Ronaldinho, both on the Kerry jersey bandwagon. It's a real thing at this point, Paul.
Yeah, it's absolute madness. I'm still trying to figure out how the whole thing happened myself, really.
Oh, good stuff. It's a great story. Thanks a million for joining us this morning. Cheers.
No bother, lads. Thanks.